It's the rumour that just won't go away, and this time, it's louder than ever. As the summer break draws near, the Formula One paddock finds itself in a pressure cooker of speculation, and the heat is centred on Max Verstappen and Mercedes. Behind closed doors, Toto Wolff is reportedly closer than ever to pulling off what was once unthinkable, luring the reigning world champion away from Red Bull. But with one open seat and 2 drivers under contract, someone has to be pushed out. And all signs point to George Russell. Sources suggest Russell has already begun ringing around, quietly exploring escape routes, sensing the noose tightening. And with Martin Brundle hinting that something's up behind the scenes, fans are starting to wonder if we're not just witnessing silly season, but a seismic power shift in Formula One's future. This isn't just about who goes where, it's about the first major move before the radically new 2026 regulations kick in. Red Bull's dominance is suddenly looking fragile. Mercedes is biding its time, and Verstappen may be holding the detonator to the next championship explosion. The silence from the driver's camp only deepens the tension. No denials, no clarifications, just the deafening hum of engines and unanswered questions. Could Mercedes be preparing to sideline their own golden boy? Could Verstappen really walk away from the team he built into a dynasty? One thing is clear, something is shifting beneath the surface, and the outcome could redefine the grid as we know it. To understand why Mercedes might be courting Verstappen, despite already having Russell and Antonelli in place, we need to look beyond just the driver market and into the strategic heart of the 2026 regulations. That year will mark the most radical technical reset in modern Formula One history. Brand new chassis rules, 50-50 hybrid power unit requirements, fully sustainable fuels. It's a blank slate. And for a team like Mercedes, still clawing back from years of underachievement post-2021, it's a chance to reset their competitive DNA. Verstappen isn't just fast, he's a development weapon. He's been integral in shaping Red Bull's RB19 and RB20 concepts into the aerodynamic monsters they are. His precision feedback loop, with Adrian Newey and the simulator team, has become the gold standard for car evolution under a budget cap. And that's exactly what Toto Wolff needs for 2026. Not just a race winner, but a driver who can shape a car from concept to podium. Russell, for all his talent, hasn't proven he can do that yet. And while Antonelli shows enormous potential, betting on an unproven rookie without pairing him with a benchmark like Verstappen is a risk Wolff may not want to take. Even the timing of the rumours aligns with Mercedes' internal development milestones. This summer, every major team will lock in their power unit architecture for the new regulations. Having Verstappen's input before that cutoff could make the difference between another era of dominance or years of chasing shadows. If Red Bull stumbles even slightly under the new engine formula, where Ford will be a new, relatively unproven partner, Verstappen may prefer the predictability of Mercedes' factory engine program. In that light, this isn't just a talent swap, it's strategic warfare, unfolding in silence behind glass doors and encrypted emails. For George Russell, the timing couldn't be worse. Once seen as Mercedes' heir apparent, the Briton now finds himself in a precarious position, caught between loyalty to a team that moulded him and the cold realities of elite-level sport. If Verstappen truly is in play, Russell's seat is the one under threat, not Antonelli's. The young Italian isn't just Toto Wolff's new project. He's the symbol of Mercedes' long-term vision. That leaves George, the one-time golden boy, looking over his shoulder. His quiet confidence has recently begun to fracture under the weight of rumour. According to paddock whispers, Russell has already begun reaching out to rival teams, Aston Martin, possibly Sauber, Audi, testing the waters should his current home no longer be his in 2026. It's a move that signals more than just caution. It reveals that inside the garage, the atmosphere is changing. The conversations Russell once had behind closed doors with engineers and strategy heads may now come with asterisks and unspoken doubts. Drivers don't ring around unless they know something's shifting, and if he's nervous, he's not alone. Imagine the psychological toll. Performing at the highest level, defending your seat not just on the track but in private meetings and coded emails. The quiet pressure builds each time Verstappen's name is mentioned in the Mercedes motorhome. Antonelli watches from the wings, a prodigy with nothing to lose and everything to prove, while George fights to prove he still belongs in silver beyond 2025. Toto Wolff, meanwhile, has to play the diplomat, managing egos, futures, and the team's trajectory all at once. This isn't just about speed anymore, it's about narrative, about hierarchy, about who the team believes can carry them into the new era, and who may have already served their purpose. The numbers add a sharp edge to the unfolding drama. Right now, Max Verstappen sits just 9 points ahead of George Russell in the Drivers' Championship. That proximity isn't just a statistical footnote, it could be the trigger clause that determines Verstappen's contractual freedom. According to several reports, including those from Sky Italia, Verstappen's Red Bull deal includes a performance-related exit clause. If he drops below third in the standings by a certain point, understood to be just after the Hungarian Grand Prix, he can walk away. That makes the next few races not just critical for the championship, but potentially career-defining. If Russell overtakes Verstappen in the standings, even briefly, it could shatter Red Bull's control over their star driver. The team that has dominated the hybrid era could suddenly be powerless to stop a defection. From Mercedes' perspective, it's a calculated waiting game. They don't need to rush. All they need is for the math to shift. Verstappen's DNF in Austria already cut into his cushion. Another missed podium, combined with a strong result from Russell or even Piastri, could set off a contractual chain reaction. Meanwhile, Russell's performances are being scrutinised more intensely than ever, not just as a measure of his potential, but as a direct factor in Verstappen's mobility. Every point gained or lost, every tyre choice, every on-track duel carries implications far beyond the checkered flag. In the 2025 season, championship position doesn't just affect trophies, it may decide where the greatest driver of this generation races next. If Verstappen were to walk away from Red Bull, it wouldn't be the first time Formula One has seen a seismic driver shift under a veil of performance politics. In 2012, Lewis Hamilton left McLaren, a team built around him, for a Mercedes project many thought was doomed. What followed was a dynasty. In 1995, Michael Schumacher left Benetton after back-to-back titles to join Ferrari, a team in chaos at the time. Within 5 years, they were unstoppable. History shows that when dominant drivers jump ship, it's rarely random. It's a calculated move made with an eye on the future, and it often reshapes the sport's power structure for years. For Verstappen, the parallels are impossible to ignore. Red Bull has given him everything: a championship-winning car, a team built around his strengths, and the freedom to drive exactly how he wants. But there are cracks forming. Honda is pulling back. Ford, while ambitious, remains an unknown quantity. Adrian Newey is stepping back. The pillars that held Red Bull's empire together are shifting. And Max, like Schumacher or Hamilton before him, may be looking for the next long-term stronghold. And for Mercedes, the timing is uncanny. They've been quietly rebuilding, not headline-worthy dominance, but steady, foundational progress. New floor concepts, hybrid architecture development, Antonelli in the pipeline, it all points to a project that could peak right as the 2026 regulations reset the playing field. If Verstappen joins that effort, it wouldn't just be a transfer. It would be a changing of the guard, a generational shift, echoing Hamilton's departure from McLaren or Alonso's mid-2000s shuffle. These moves don't happen often, but when they do, they leave fault lines in the sport. The question isn't just whether Verstappen will leave, it's whether history is about to repeat itself, again at Mercedes. If the Verstappen to Mercedes move materialises, the ripple effects across the paddock will be immediate and disruptive. First, it creates an open seat at Red Bull, arguably the most competitive car on the grid, yet suddenly without its central pillar. Who steps in? Sergio Perez's future has always been uncertain, and with Verstappen gone, Red Bull would likely seek a new number one. Do they promote Yuki Tsunoda or Liam Lawson from within? Or does someone like Lando Norris, long rumoured to have a Red Bull exit clause of his own, suddenly find himself on the top of their wish list? Even Carlos Sainz, currently teamless for 2025, could be a dark horse. One move sets off a domino cascade. And for Mercedes, the challenge would be integrating two drivers on vastly different trajectories. Verstappen, a three-time world champion with the weight of a team behind him, paired with Kimi Antonelli, a prodigy entering his rookie season. That dynamic requires more than just engineering harmony. It demands psychological balance. Verstappen's presence alone could either accelerate Antonelli's development or completely overshadow it. For Russell, assuming he exits, the market becomes a minefield. Most top-tier seats are locked, and while Aston Martin or Audi could offer lifelines, neither guarantees him a title-contending car in 2026. Beyond individual careers, the very landscape of Formula One could shift. Mercedes, with Verstappen, would instantly become the favourite for the new era, if the car delivers. Red Bull, stripped of their star, would have to rebuild, and the balance of power, stable for years, could tilt overnight. This wouldn't just be a transfer, it would be a hard reset. Looking beyond the 2026 season, the potential Verstappen to Mercedes move could redefine not just the driver market, but the legacy of an entire era in Formula One. If Verstappen were to win titles with a second team under a brand new regulation set, he would enter truly rarefied air. Only a handful of drivers, most notably Juan Manuel Fangio, Alain Prost and Lewis Hamilton, have achieved world championships with multiple constructors. For Mercedes, pairing the most dominant driver of the current generation with the clean slate of 2026 could reignite the dominance they once wielded under the early hybrid era. And if it works, it might mark the beginning of a new dynasty, this time with Verstappen, not Hamilton, at the centre of it. For Red Bull, however, the cost of losing Verstappen goes far beyond race pace. It's a blow to their identity. Since 2016, the team has been built around Max, his driving style, his feedback, his ambition. Without him, they don't just lose performance, they lose a unifying force that's kept their engineering and strategic departments operating like a machine. The new regulations, the Ford partnership, the Adrian Newey transition, these were already risks. Take Verstappen out of the equation, and Red Bull enters the most uncertain phase of its modern history. In the coming weeks, Toto Wolff will make a decision that could reshape the competitive landscape for years. Russell may fight to stay, Red Bull may fight to keep. But the 2026 era is fast approaching, and the driver who makes the first leap may be the one who defines it. And if that driver is Max Verstappen, we may be about to witness the most dramatic power shift Formula One has seen since the day Lewis Hamilton walked into Brackley and changed everything.